It began in a house built for love and ended with a moment no one expected. Kody Brown calls it the home where my heart broke. But while he was mourning the past, Meri Brown was painting something the internet will never forget. One heartbreak, one hilarious twist. Two lives that changed forever in the same family. This is the night Kody's tears and Meri's laughter crossed paths, and Sister Wives history flipped upside down. Part 1. When Kody Brown moved his family to Flagstaff, Arizona, it was supposed to be a fresh start, away from Las Vegas, away from the cameras, away from the pressure. But in truth, Flagstaff wasn't the beginning of peace. It was the start of the end. Christine struggled with the cold. Janelle wanted to build on the land. Meri felt more alone than ever. And Robin, she held on tighter as everyone else slipped away. Kody dreamed of one large house, one big family under one roof again, but every wife saw it differently. For the first time, the dream wasn't shared. A dream divided becomes a battlefield. As Flagstaff's seasons changed, so did the Brown family's bond. The pandemic hit, and suddenly, every choice became a test of loyalty. Kody's rules tightened. Christine pushed back. Janelle resisted. Meri complied but felt unseen. And Robin became the default center of his world. It wasn't just about COVID. It was about control, faith, and freedom. By the end of that year, the Brown family wasn't one family anymore. It was 4 separate worlds orbiting around one man who was losing them all. The moment Christine said she was done changed everything. In the fall of 2021, Christine Brown made the choice millions of women silently dream of. She walked away. For years, she begged for partnership, for attention, for equality. What she got instead was a husband who told her he wasn't attracted to her anymore. That was the final straw. Christine packed her memories, her pride, and her peace, and left Flagstaff. And for Kody, it wasn't just losing a wife. It was losing control of the story. Christine's departure wasn't the end. It was the beginning of Kody's unraveling. When Christine left, something inside Kody changed. He became harder, angrier, more guarded. Meri stayed, but her heart didn't. Janelle fought to keep her independence, even if it meant sleeping in an RV. Robin watched in disbelief as the man she loved transformed into a stranger. The family that once preached unity now sat fractured in silence. Meri, he let me go long before I walked away. Janelle, I just couldn't do it anymore. By the winter of 2022, 3 of Kody's 4 marriages had collapsed, and the house in Flagstaff, the place he called his sanctuary, became his prison. But what happened next shocked even the most loyal fans. In 2024, as filming resumed, Kody finally opened up about his pain, not in anger, but in grief. He called the Flagstaff home, the place where my heart broke. For years, fans saw Kody as the patriarch, the one in control, but behind the camera, he was a man haunted by regret, by loss, and by his own choices. He admitted he missed Christine's laughter, Meri's loyalty, Janelle's strength. He said he still loved Robin, but even that love was burdened by guilt. In one haunting line, Kody confessed, "I built this home for a family that doesn't exist anymore." But was it heartbreak or karma? The internet exploded. Fans called it poetic justice. Others saw it as the tragic collapse of a man who gave everything to control everything. Christine moved on, with joy, with love, with a new husband. Janelle found peace. Meri rebranded her independence. And Kody? He's left with the land he can't sell and the memories he can't escape. Flagstaff became a metaphor for lost love, fractured faith, and the danger of ego. For some, it's the end of an era. For others, it's the beginning of accountability. In the end, Kody didn't just lose his wives. He lost the story he once believed was his legacy. If this story moved you, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments. Part 2. For years, Meri Brown was the quiet one, the loyal, spiritual, steady sister wife who kept her composure through heartbreak, loss, and loneliness. After her separation from Kody, she decided to embrace a new life, filled with friends, color, and creativity. Art night became her escape, a safe place to laugh again, to feel again, and to just be Meri. But no one could have predicted how that night would take such a cheeky turn. Sometimes healing begins with laughter, even if it looks a little naughty. It started simple, shapes, color, and conversation. Meri chose a deep shade of purple. Her friends teased her. It's bold, it's daring. She didn't know that color choice would become legendary. As the canvas evolved, the shape began to form, something smooth, round, and elongated. And when someone whispered, "Meri, is that what we think it is?" the room erupted. Her masterpiece had unintentionally taken on a very Eggplant-esque look. And from that moment on, there was no going back. Within hours, clips from that night hit Instagram stories. Fans reposted. Memes exploded. Meri's art night just became Sister Wives history, one fan wrote. Another joked, "Someone please frame that eggplant painting." The internet crowned it the naughty paint night. For the first time in years, Meri wasn't trending for heartbreak. She was trending for humor. But beneath the laughter was something deeper, a woman reclaiming her joy. Behind the cheeky jokes and the viral clips was something profound. For Meri, this wasn't just a funny night. It was a breakthrough. She'd spent years being judged, pitied, and misunderstood. But now, she was laughing. And not the polite laugh for cameras, the real one. Her art, her humor, and her independence became symbols of a woman rediscovering herself after years of public heartbreak. Fan comments: "We love this new Meri. She's glowing. This is healing energy." And the more people laughed with her, the more she healed within herself. But what Meri did next took fans completely by surprise. Instead of hiding from the viral attention, Meri leaned into it. She joked about it on live streams, signed off with an eggplant emoji, and even hinted at turning the artwork into merch. Fans couldn't get enough. Suddenly, Meri wasn't the sad ex-wife. She was the fun, confident, empowered woman living her best single life. The painting became a symbol, not of embarrassment, but of evolution. Because sometimes life's messiest moments are also its most liberating. And that's the real story of Meri's art night. It wasn't naughty, it was necessary. From heartbreak to hilarity, Meri's laughter became her loudest comeback. The internet never forgets, but in this case, that's a good thing. Meri's art night became a turning point. It reminded fans, and maybe even her former family, that joy doesn't need permission. Her eggplant painting wasn't a scandal. It was a spark, a symbol of humor, healing, and happiness. In the end, what began as a cheeky accident became her greatest reminder. You can't paint over the past, but you can make it a masterpiece. If this story made you laugh, hit like, share the love in the comments. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. 2018. The Brown family left Las Vegas for Flagstaff, Arizona, a quiet mountain town meant to heal old wounds. He imagined 4 wives under one roof again, but the reality was 4 separate houses and 1 man trying to hold them together. Legal records show each parcel of Coyote Pass was deeded separately in 2018, a symbol of division before the foundation was ever poured. By 2021, Christine was gone. Meri was alone. Janelle was camping in an RV, and Kody was left in a silent house. What no one saw coming was how Meri would turn that silence into something loud. After a decade of heartbreak, Meri chose to paint again not just canvas, but her life. It was supposed to be fun and innocent, paint, wine, and friends. But one purple stroke changed everything. Fans later dubbed it Eggplant Gate, when Meri looked down and realized her art looked, well, a little too suggestive. That night, the woman who once cried in confessionals was crying with laughter. While Meri laughed in Utah, Kody was mourning in Flagstaff. He called it the home where my heart broke. For him, Coyote Pass wasn't just land, it was a graveyard for his dream. Meanwhile, Reddit threads lit up. "Karma is served with a paintbrush," one fan wrote. Another, "While Kody cries over blueprints, Meri's painting eggplants." 2 hearts breaking in opposite ways, one through grief, one through rebirth. When the clip of Meri's painting hit Instagram Live, it spread like wildfire. On Facebook groups with over 100K members, the comments rolled in. "Protect this version of Meri at all costs." "Finally, she's laughing again." Even TLC quietly leaned into the trend, reposting a clip captioned "The Art of Moving On." But the real twist wasn't online. It was inside Meri herself. For years, Meri was defined by what she lost. That night, she was defined by what she found her joy. Fans noticed a shift. Her post became bolder, her lives louder. She joked about the eggplant, turned it into merch, and owned the moment. Meanwhile, Kody admitted on camera, "I don't recognize my family anymore." But maybe that was the point. One chapter closed in tears, another opened in laughter. The Flagstaff home became a symbol of what was lost. The art night became a symbol of what was found. In the end, the Brown story was never about plural marriage. It was about the plurality of emotion, how grief and joy can coexist in the same family tree. Kody lost his home. Meri found hers within herself. Sometimes healing doesn't look like moving on. It looks like laughing again. By the next morning, Meri's art night wasn't just a local laugh, it was trending. Across Reddit, Facebook, and YouTube, Thousands of women shared their own oops art moments. One Redditor wrote, "I haven't laughed that hard since season 10. Another added, "It's so healing seeing her laugh again, we all needed that." It became a communal release, fans bonding through shared laughter, turning one woman's paint night into a moment of global sisterhood. Before Flagstaff, before the snow and the silence, there was Las Vegas, a city of lights and laughter. The Browns once gathered for big dinners, crowded birthdays, and 4 homes filled with energy. Those days felt endless until the cracks appeared. The decision to leave Las Vegas wasn't just geographical, it was emotional exile. Therapists call it emotional counter-release, when laughter surfaces exactly where pain once lived. It's not immaturity, it's recovery. While Kody mourned control, Meri reclaimed spontaneity. One buried his grief, the other painted hers. Rumors swirl that TLC might film one final sit-down or reunion where laughter and loss finally meet face to face. Will Kody see Meri's painting and finally laugh too? Or would it reopen the wounds of Flagstaff? Thousands of comments still pour in every week. We grew up with them. We watched heartbreak. Now we're watching healing. Because maybe the story of Sister Wives was never about endings, it was about learning to laugh again. If this story moved you, tap like to support strong women finding their voice. Subscribe for our next episode, Christine's Happily Ever After, the wedding that redefined freedom. And tell us in the comments which moment hit you harder, Kody's broken home or Meri's eggplant art of healing.